and it'll
Mm-hmm.
really crank up, because if we're in deep grief or deep sadness, it can crank up the stories in our head that, well, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe I'm not lovable, maybe someone isn't ever going to choose me, maybe I'm not going to have what I want, blah blah blah, whatever version. And it can really turn the volume up on those things. And what it really is more a frequency thing. Like, if you're not on a similar energetic frequency or channel, like if one person's doing a ton of work and the other person's not, eventually you're having so much of a discrepancy in energy that it's just going to break.
Yeah.
Because it can't. It's like the laws of quantum physics, you know? So thinking of it like that can be a little more helpful than really internalizing it or personalizing it when a breakup happens, because I know that's been something that I've had to really, really work on, having a very unconventional path, and like not ever being married and blah, 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 societal measures. But like, it definitely was a thing I had to work on and work through. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I'm just thinking about this question that initially came in about like, how do you know when it's time to call it, when I'm in sort of an on again, off again pattern going on and it doesn't seem to be working? I'm curious in the final part of this conversation about calling it. I mean, I think that is also another question, is like how, that spins out of this is, let's say it's time to call it. How do you call it?
Yeah.
That is a courageous act for most of us to like, unless it's obvious, glaringly obvious that this is not going to work out and we're done. But how do you call it out in a way that, I mean, it's going to break your heart no matter what, but how do you do it with grace, is there a right way to call it?
Tastefully.
I mean, well, if you're navigating in a conscious way, which you may or may not be, or may not have the tools, but if you are, then I think you'll probably have had multiple things come up, conversations. Like, it won't be out of the blue a lot of the time, but sometimes it might be. Like, I had one breakup that was pretty out of the blue, where it was someone who was just really in a people pleasing pattern, and it just happened, out of the blue. But now looking back, I can see, oh, there was a lot of things that maybe were suppressed, that weren't expressed or whatever. But I think, it's something that you've had conversations about, and then it gets to a point like it did with you, Keith, where it's like, wait, we are not on the same page. Like, what can we do when that's like, it's not actually loving for either one of us to stay in this. And it's never going to be easy, and there's never the right time, and there's really not really the right words to say, but there's more conscious, loving, compassionate ways to go about it, I think. And I think all of us are here. Like, if anyone's listening and not knowing how to navigate, we're here to help you with that. And getting outside support is really helpful, right? Like, I'll work with couples all the time. They don't know, should I stay? Should I go? Or I'll work with one half of a couple. And so we'll do some work around that and help them to get really clear before they make, an impulsive decision or whatever.
Yeah. And, that decision to have that conversation, I just want to invite people to, again, get the support you need to be really clear about it. Because when you do bring up the potential to break up a relationship, it is like popping a bubble for the couple. And if that's your intention, great, it will be achieved. But if your intention is actually just to sort it out and process it, it can cause a lot of relational harm. So if you want to use it as like testing the waters, I personally, of course, depends on the situation, but I would warn people against that before being really clear about it and getting the support you need to vet out where you really want to go with it.
And when you do know it's time to call it, I think if it's hard to practice this, but for me, I think composure is really important. If you're going to end it in a heated way, you're just going to cause more drama and harm to the relationship and the after of not getting the closure that you want. And so I think it's really helpful before ending it, or while you're in the middle of ending it, is really to keep in mind, like, what is the most loving way to do this, and let love lead it, and to stay composed. Because I have had relationships in the past that ended where I left very angry or very heated, because I just was like, wow, how dare this person do that? And, I kind of made myself a victim, not in this current one, but in a previous one. And I think like there's something to be said, if possible, like take the high road and stay composed and leave
Mhm.
as loving as you can, if possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.